Good morning and welcome to Begin in the Word. Our text today comes from a Hebrew book of poetry, Proverbs chapter 28, verse 2. This is a selection from the Proverbs that Hezekiah gathered together. It is a standalone proverb. In other words, it's not part of a larger group of proverbs, and it is a profound proverb. Therefore, it stands alone. It need not other proverbs go with it to help make its point. The text says, when a land transgresses, it has many rulers. But a man of understanding and knowledge, its stability will long continue. This is one of those proverbs where there is great debate on how to translate this proverb. I consulted several English translations, and almost all the English translations translate it something similar to the text that is before us. And carried forth in this translation and in the original intent is the notion that where there is transgression, there are a lot of turnover and turmoil in leadership. And conversely, a turnover and turmoil in leadership causes there to be a lot of transgression. Those are sort of reflexive statements. That's part of the challenge in translating this text. And of course, the second part of the text is telling us that the better solution, but with a man of understanding and knowledge, its stability will long continue. In other words, a land that is led by or has a ruler that is a man of understanding and knowledge, the land's stability will long continue. This is an antithetic parallel proverb. As we've studied many other proverbs, there's two phrases. They are parallel, both talking generally about the same subject. But remember, when you see the word but, it's very likely an antithetic or opposite. And that's true here. We see in this first part of the proverb, the first phrase, we have this land that is transgressing. And however it is translated, there's something wrong with this ruler or these rulers. There's a problem with the rulers in this first text. In the second text, it's the opposite. It's the antithetic statement. We have here a ruler of understanding and knowledge. So the ruler is complemented in the second phrase, and the land is being described as having stability and a stability that will long continue. And so if we were to draw lines from part of this text to the other part of this text, from first phrase to second phrase, we would first look at this phrase, when the land transgresses, and we would look at its counterpart over here, the second part of our phrase over here. These are the two phrases that are connected. We have, on the one hand, a land that transgresses, and on the other hand, a land that its stability will long continue. And then again, in the first phrase, we have this many rulers, and there's an idea of chaos going on in this phrase, a land of chaos led by rulers of chaos. It has many rulers. And on the other hand, here we have one man, one ruler, and it is a man of understanding and knowledge. And that's sort of the nature of this phrase. And so it's clear to see when you break this text down, it is talking about leadership. And while it's specifically applied to a land or a nation or a government, it could apply to any examples of leadership, and we'll think it about that way. Think about a single road that you may go down. A single path, a clearly defined path. Are there any questions as to where to go here? Are you wondering what direction you should take? This is what the second phrase is trying to help us see. A person of understanding and knowledge, clarity of vision, certainty of command and direction. The guidance that is given is clear. It's not like an uncertain trumpet that's blown in battle, but no, it's very clear and certain and understanding. And so we put this photograph of this single path down the road to help understand the idea of what's being said in this second phrase here. Understanding and knowledge and stability, it will long continue. On the other hand, if you've been like me and had to drive in big cities, you've gone through these, what sometimes we refer to as mix masters. Just really complicated roads with lots of directions and lots of exits. And if you don't know where you're going, you can end up maybe on the right road, but going the wrong way. It can be very confusing. And that's sort of what this first part of the phrase has in view here, is uncertainty in direction, lack of clarity in the vision of where we're going. And that's what this text is trying to describe to us, is that good leaders are good leaders because they are people of understanding and knowledge. And so this leads us to sort of our first conclusion. A bad leader in any situation results in chaos and sin. Chaos because the leader does not give clear direction. We've all had bosses that would never give us a straight answer. You ask them what we should do, and they ask 3 questions back to you, and you walk out of their office uncertain of what it is you're supposed to do. That is a bad leader. A good leader will look you straight in the eye and give you clear direction, so that when you go forth, you know, even if you may not agree with it, you know what's expected of you. You know what to do. A good leader will give you direction and clarity of vision. A bad leader gives you chaos, and from that chaos results sin. Just like our drawing over here. Not knowing which way to go, not knowing where the exit is, not knowing how to go, the chaos. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong path, went to the wrong slide there. The chaos can lead to disaster on the roads, car wrecks, all kinds of problems. A bad leader equals chaos and sin. Then our second conclusion from this is the opposite. A good leader gives stability. A person of understanding and a person of knowledge. That type of leader results in stability. A good leader results in stability. And so a good leader then has certain characteristics, as this text indicates. A good leader has understanding. Now let's talk about what that might mean for a moment. You might substitute the word empathy for the word understanding here. A good leader knows the people that are following. They have an understanding. They know the situation. They know what's out ahead, and they understand what's happening around them. They have good perception. A good leader has good understanding. They're not blind to the world. They know the problems that the people who follow them are facing. They are a person, the good leader is a person of understanding. But they are also a person of knowledge. They know the way. They know the route. They know what works and what does not work. Think of it like a shepherd. A shepherd may know if his sheep are uncomfortable, if they are troubled by something. And he has understanding of that. He has an empathy for that. But he also knows that these sheep may not want to go up the side of that mountain. But that's exactly where they need to go, because my knowledge tells me if we go up there, we'll be away from the wolf. But the shepherd understands that the sheep may be hesitant to go up there, and so he has to lead them and guide them in a way that accounts for that fear that they have. A good leader has understanding, but he also has knowledge. And those two things together will bring stability. Fear the leader that has understanding but no knowledge. Empathy without understanding of without a logic and a path before him. And fear the leader who has a path but does not have empathy for those that are being led. And then you can conclude then from this that a good leader provides clear direction, certainty. We know where we're going. Okay, let's think about some questions. A bad leader creates an environment that allows for, first, chaos. Sorry for my handwriting there. Chaos. And out of that chaos results in sin. Disorder. Following the disorder is sin. A bad leader creates an environment that allows for chaos and then sin. Okay, We all have leaders in our lives. Some of us are leaders. Some of us follow others that are leaders. Let's think about leaders. In this question here, we'll circle all that will apply. So there can be more than one good answer here. So we'll circle all of the ones that might apply. Circle which people listed below are in leadership roles. Well, elders in a congregation, certainly elders are leaders. They have to lead their people, and they must lead with understanding, empathy, but also with knowledge. How about a school teacher? Is a school teacher a leader? Well, certainly they are. They must understand their students, but they also have to have knowledge of the material. It takes both of those elements. How about a mother in the home? Is a mother a leader? Of course she is. She leads those children. Just ask Jesus when he described this hen that would gather her chicks under her wing, Jesus describing the motherly instinct here. Of course she's a leader. She must understand her children. She must have empathy for her children, but not at the exclusion of having knowledge about what they should be taught and how they must be disciplined. It takes both. So, of course, a mother is a good leader. How about an older sister? Well, absolutely. In my family, I see it all the time, how older sisters guide their younger siblings, help them find their clothes when they're lost, help them know what to do and what not to do, how not to get in trouble. An older sister is absolutely a leader in among her siblings. She can be a great leader, but she must do so with an understanding, empathy, but also knowledge of knowing what the rules are. So all of these are examples of good leaders. Ask yourself today, everybody is in some capacity a leader. What capacity are you a leader? Are you the leader of the crew, the one that everybody else follows? Are you a boss with employees under your watch? How is it that you are a leader? And in your leadership, are you providing understanding, empathy, compassion for those whom you lead? And are you providing knowledge, an awareness of what is required and not shrinking back from that? It takes both of those to lead and have stability, and it will continue a long time. If you do not, if your workplace is filled with chaos and sin, it may be because you're not a good leader in that place. Thanks for joining us today. I hope as you have begun today in the Word of God, you will live out today in the Word of God.